The inside story on the issues that affect you and your community. This is Local 12 Newsmakers.
Good morning and welcome to Local 12 Newsmakers. I'm Dan Hurley. As students go back to school across the region, this is the time of the year that we focus on the variety of curricular designs and methodologies, from STEM to Montessori to New Tech. Of all those variations in the way to master the knowledge and skills necessary to be a contributing adult, one school has a unique approach. Depaul Cristo Ray, a Catholic school on Central Parkway, is a school that approaches things from a very different way. Reporter Jeff Hirsch has been following this school since it opened 2 years ago. Here's a story he prepared in 2011.
Macy's corporate headquarters, downtown Cincinnati, home to 700 employees for the nationwide retailing giant, including Eric DeLeon. Eric's new here. He's also all of 14 years old and a high school freshman.
I have all A's and B's right there.
Eric is a co-op student, something usually reserved for college kids. But Eric attends Depaul Cristo Ray High School, an independent Catholic school which opened in August. Part of the school's mission, a private school education for kids who could otherwise not afford it. Besides academics, that means an introduction to the world of work. Being high schoolers, much of that work is entry-level clerical.
Is it okay if I use a red piece of paper, please?
But everybody has to start somewhere, what the school calls a cumulative advantage.
You know, the idea that with opportunity, it's not always exciting, it's not always, you know, glitzy in what you may see on television, but it's the day-to-day discipline of showing up. And with that, you know, opportunities are going to come your way as long as you work hard.
Macy's is one of 25 local businesses and nonprofit organizations which hire Depaul Cristo Ray students. Now, the salary the students earn actually goes to the school to help pay their tuition. And it's not like the students can come down here and goof off. They're graded and they receive academic credit. And the sense of being in an organization.
They're part of the family now. They're totally immersed, engaged in what we do here at Macy's.
Cristo Ray students attend class 4 days a week and work at job sites the other day. While most of the work is clerical, employers try to tailor the jobs to a student's interest. Eric, for example, wants to be a graphic engineer.
Like when they design the buildings, like I got to design, like help design the visitor center for Herald Square earlier this year.
Not bad for a freshman. Just think what Eric will do as a sophomore. Jeff Hirsch, Local 12 News.
I am joined this morning by three people from Depaul Cristo Ray. Sister Jeanne Bessette is the president and CEO. Sister Jeanne is a member of the Sisters of St. Francis of Mary Immaculate, Joliet, Illinois. Austin Crawford also is a member of class of 2015, which means you're a rising junior, right?
Yes, sir.
Or you are a junior, I guess. And Jordan Handor, also a member of the class of 2015. Welcome to Newsmakers, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you're entering your third year.
Yes.
And you started with freshmen, then you had freshmen, sophomores last year, now freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. So what's the size of the school? How many students do you have at this point?
At this dip in time, we have about 200 students.
Okay. And so next year you would have all 4 years. What
Correct.
do you imagine? What do you project?
We hope that at full enrollment, and that's once we're a four-year school and once we get more established in the city, we'll be about 400 students.
Okay, so double what you are now.
Correct.
You're going to have to build
Correct.
in order to, those of us who know the facility out
That's
there
right.
on Central Parkway, there's only so much space.
We are building right now.
Okay.
We are adding 3 very large modular buildings that we've acquired from CPS, but we are installing them permanently as part of our campus. So we won't be a building, we will be a campus.
Okay.
Like they will be looking forward to when they go to college.
Right, right. So let's begin, Austin, with you. What is it that drew you to Depaul Cristo Ray? How did you find out about it, and why did you think you might be interested?
Depaul Cristo Ray actually came to my grade school, which is Hamilton County Math and Science Academy. And basically, they showed us what the school would be like if we actually came. And at first, I wasn't really interested in the whole program. But as time came for high school, I actually wanted to work and wanted to have an academic Well, academics, they'll set me apart from other people, so.
But the work thing, did it interest you, or was it like,
It was kind of both. At first, it was like, I don't want to work at all. But after a while, thinking about how it affect my, my college goals, it actually helped out, so.
Jordan, what about you? Where have you worked?
I worked at KMK, Keith and Youth and Clee Camp.
A law firm?
Yes.
And what was that like? Now, you started as you were a freshman?
Yes.
How old were you, 14?
I was 14.
That's a pretty intimidating environment. That's a pretty intimidating environment for adults, by the way. So for a 14-year-old, what was it like to be going in there and working a regular day, doing that?
I was actually pretty nervous and scared because I thought like the people there were supposed to be like really strict and stern. The people there are like really nice and welcoming, and it's just like working in the office, just doing tons of stuff for them, like filing, doing the mail process. But I mean, at first I went there, I was nervous and I was kind of scared, quiet. But after a while, they're all nice and they became my friends, part of my family.
And where will you be this year? Because you've been at KMK for 2 years, right?
Yes.
And that's because they asked for you to come back?
Yes.
Yeah, that says something about you. Where will you be this year, though?
Bailey's.
Bailey Place?
Yeah.
Bailey Place out with the Sisters of Charity?
Yes.
Okay. And where will you be this year?
This year I'll be at Clark Schaefer Hackett.
Clark Schaefer Hackett,
Yes,
a accounting firm
Yes, sir.
with a number of very good friends. Dan Fales, John Moster, these are really good people. That's a good firm to be with.
Thank
Have you
you.
started yet?
No, I have not started.
Okay. I'll make a call to make
Okay.
sure they come. How does this work from a business's point of view? Okay, students get placed, but it's not just individual students get placed for one day. What's the model here?
Yeah, I think the thing that separates us from other high school-based work programs is our students work for 10 months for a firm that would hire us, or a company, or a nonprofit, and we provide a student every business day, Monday through Friday, for those 10 months. So a company could expect to have 4 students who job share. And we run sort of a temp agency. We provide the workers for 10 months, young professionals who do a variety of paraprofessional activities for a company. 4 students would job share, so the company would have a different worker on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
So for any one student, you're only missing classes 1 day a week?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
And then once a month on Fridays, Austin would rotate in, and Jordy will have 1 Friday a month that she's at Bailey as well. But the other teammates of hers, she's never there on the same days with them.
Okay.
They don't miss classes when they're at work. Their classes don't meet when they're at work.
Okay. So in any one company, so whether it's KMK or whether it, where were you?
Last year?
Yeah.
Children's Hospital.
Children's Hospital. The other 3 students who were on your team, did they work in your same department, or did they get spread out into other departments?
It was kind of both.
Both.
They actually separate you from different departments at different times.
Okay.
So basically, if I worked in the pharmacy one day, I'll basically work in the office the next hour or so.
Okay.
For me, we were clerks and for the office, and we basically do the same job all together.
Okay. I know at the chamber, we have a team of 4 students, and there was a student who was in our department, our leadership development department. He was always there on a particular day. And then the other 3 team members worked for other departments. And then what's this cost the business, and then how does this, Jeff said, this helps pay for the tuition?
That's correct. It's a fee-for-service model. So the students are actually employees of Depaul Cristo Rey High School Corporate Work Study Program. That's a big name, but they really are our employees. We take care of all the paperwork, all the government, all the HR sides of this. A company that employs 4 students, so they get 1 FTE, pays $27,000. The fee-for-service model, they pay that to the Corporate Work Study Program, which is a pass-through only, and funds the tuition costs of our students.
Okay.
If a company has 2 students, because we're flexible if we're nothing else. You know, you have to be flexible when you're growing. We can provide 2 student workers for $14,000, 1 for $7,000. And then we provide
so that could be
structure.
if a student, if a company was small and
Yes,
couldn't take 4.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have some companies looking at sharing a team of students too. So they might work together to say, we could use 4 workers, but none of us can employ all 4. And then we would divide that up. You can tell there's a lot of flexibility. Some companies assign the kids to 4 different departments. Some, like Jordan, they all work for the same supervisor.
And this is the tough question. Let's begin with you, Jordan.
Okay.
What was the toughest thing you had to learn about being out in the workplace? These first 2 years, what was the thing that sort of you didn't know was going to happen, you didn't know you were prepared for, that now you are?
Basically meeting people that I didn't know, because I was very shy. I didn't like meeting new people. When I got there, you had to shake their hands and you had to talk to them. You had to associate with them. It was really hard for me, but then after like the 2nd year, it was like really okay. I was comfortable with it.
Okay.
I will also say adjusting to talking to adults, because like when you're in school, you're just hanging out, talking to friends, but when you're in front of a CEO or something, they want you to be like strict, not strict, but they want you to be on point basically. Okay. And that's what Depaul Cristo Rey has taught me, so.
And let's talk about academics, not the work part of this, but what about the math, the literature, the science? What have you found about Depaul Cristo Rey as a academic, as a school sort of thing? And I am sure you've got lots of friends who go to other schools and you talk about this is what we're doing, that's what they're doing. So what kind of education do you think you're getting?
I'm getting a great education. I say that because Depaul Cristo Rey has a 100% graduation rate out of high school and college. So, and we both take AP classes right now.
You're already up to AP classes.
Yes.
What would you say about your school?
Personally, I love the school. The teachers and the staff really care about you. And if you're like failing, you're having trouble with your homework, they're there to help you. You ask, they're always there. They'll spend hours after school to help you. And it's like not a lot of schools have that, and Depaul Cristo Rey has that. I really appreciate it.
Now, the Cristo Rey model, in Cincinnati, it's Depaul Cristo Rey.
Correct.
But the Cristo Rey model is a national model,
Correct.
right?
26 schools.
26 schools.
The newest one is just opened this week in Columbus, Ohio. When they referred to the 100% college acceptance rate, that's across the Cristo Rey network from coast to coast of the 25 schools that exist.
And the original
then the
Cristo
new one,
Rey school is in Chicago, right?
Correct.
South side of Chicago.
That's right.
And this idea of merging academics and real life business experience, sort of, okay, I can see the practical side. What's the theoretical side of this?
Well, the practical side was this was a great way to fund education. But what nobody imagined until students showed up for work that first week in Chicago 17 years ago was the enormous social and even intellectual benefit this would have for students. Putting students in the adult world of work in professional settings, students have soared within that realm.
Yeah. I can imagine just being at Children's Hospital. That is one of the most fascinating institutions in this city. I mean, it's huge, first off.
Yes.
But it's not only caring for all the children, it's this incredible research organization. I mean, that just opens up all sorts of possibilities, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you imagine that you might want to do someday?
I either want to go into the pharmacy field.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I would like to go into business, accounting. So Clark Schaefer Hackett actually corresponds with what I want to go into as well.
Okay, so now you're able to sort of test out.
Yes, sir.
An
The
idea.
two.
That's a very good thing. What do you imagine you might want to do?
I actually want to be a geriatric nurse.
Well, perfect place to be heading for Bailey Place, yes.
Yeah, I was really excited when I found out I was working at Bailey's.
Okay.
I was just like, I actually might
And did you have a chance to see what the range of possibilities were and say this would be, you know, did you get to rank where you might want to work?
Well, the first year we did the, it was kind of like an evaluation, I should say. And they placed us where our opinions took us to, so. And the first year, it wasn't my ideal job experience, but the 2 years after that, I had a great time.
Okay. Just before I run out of time, I want to make sure, even though the school year is about to start, do you have enough companies out there that you're partnering with at this point?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. We do not. We're still looking to place about 36 students, so that would be 9 full-time equivalencies. Some of those students will go into nonprofits, but for those students, we're looking for underwriters, people to sponsor the kids. And we still are waiting to hear from some companies and hoping for some new ones to take the lead from the 55 or 60 other local companies that are employing our students and jump in.
And there's still time to get this set up for this year?
Absolutely time. There's always time.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
We're flexible.
You're flexible. If we're nothing else, we're flexible.
Right,
okay. Let's make sure people know how to find you. Whether you are a student, a parent, or a potential employer from a local corporation, here's how you get in touch with Depaul Cristo Ray. The website is www.depaulcristoray.org. The telephone number is 513-861-0900. Just go to on the website to the Work Study tab, and you'll be able to open up. And Lisa Claytor is the Director of Work Study. So this is something that I have personal experience with through our company, but I also know from a lot of other companies. So this is a great thing, a different approach to education. Thank you for being here.
Dan.
You're welcome.
Good luck this year.
Thank you.
Have fun. Yeah. Drive John Monster and Dan Fails Crazy. Welcome back. The Urban Minority Drug and Alcohol Addiction Outreach Program exists to address the challenges of African American youth who face these sorts of problems, and they face it in a culturally and age-appropriate ways. The agencies provide community education, referrals, interventions, assessments, short-term counseling, advocacy, and other services. To discuss the work of the Urban Minority Alcoholism and Drug Addiction Outreach Program, I am joined now by Michael Langford, the Executive Director. He is also the Conference Chair for the 24th Annual Conference that opens August the 21st, I'm messing up, 21st, here in Cincinnati. A special part of that conference will be the fundraising gala to honor William Mallory Sr., the former minority leader of the Ohio House of Representatives and founder of the Urban Minority Alcoholism and Drug Addiction Outreach Programs across the state of Ohio. Welcome to Newsmakers. Yes, good morning. Tell me a little bit more about the agency and what you really do. What are some of the specific programs that you operate?
You listed many of them, but we offer an array of services. Primarily, we focus on the use, misuse, and out-of-control use of alcohol and other drugs. We specifically provide services for individuals and family members who are experiencing problems with alcohol and other drugs. And we also refer individuals to other service providers throughout the greater Cincinnati and Hamilton County area that have problems. And those services we may not provide.
You know, you hear a lot about other kinds of drugs, you know, various kinds of drugs. How important is alcoholism as a problem for young people?
It continues to be a problem for young people. It is considered what we call a gateway drug. Experimentation with the wine coolers and the malt beverages, and that, in our opinion and statistics show, lead to the use of other more addicting and harder drugs.
Now, one of the things you do is advocacy, which means you not only work with individual people or families who are experiencing problems, but you advocate for policy change.
Correct.
What about accessibility to those kinds of, is there anything that can be done?
We work on accessibility. That is one of the core features of advocacy, as you may well know. But we partner with local agencies such as the Coalition for a Drug-Free Cincinnati, and in attempts to monitor accessibility, we look at the billboard issues, and we let our voices collectively be heard addressing those areas.
What's your reaction to the sort of the growing spread across the country, including one of the mayoral candidates here in Cincinnati, that calls for the legalization of marijuana?
That's a very interesting and touchy subject. Matter of fact, there was an article that came out just yesterday where the individual that the president had tapped, his next Surgeon General, has come on board now for medicinal legalization of marijuana. Like I said, it's a touchy subject. I think some intense dialogue should be had around that. As a matter of fact, our conference will close with a town hall meeting addressing that very issue. Marijuana, the ramifications of its use, the legal ramifications, and also it being on the ballot here in the state of Ohio.
One of the things you're going to do at this conference is do this gala the night before, I guess.
Yes.
The conference actually opens on August 20th. In honor of William Mallory, who, when he was in the House, was a sponsor of the bill that set up the agency.
Absolutely.
But let's take a look, just before we talk about this in detail, what you're hoping to do, at a little bit of a piece I did 8 years ago about Mr. Mallory's beginnings in politics.
Let's look at that.
A little experiment. It was exciting. It was an exciting time.
Displaced to Avondale by construction of the Mill Creek Expressway, the Mallory family moved back to the West End in the early 1960s when Mrs. Mallory discovered Parktown. This experimental cooperative housing venture at Lynn and Liberty is owned by the residents who partnered with Reynolds Aluminum.
It's because I got very immersed in the concept of cooperative housing. I became a salesman, and I lived, ate, and slept the concept of cooperative housing, and eventually I became known as the mayor of Parktown. It brought together some very diverse kinds of people, all with different skills and abilities and creativity, and that made it a microcosm of what the whole city of Cincinnati could be like. What it did for me was to propel me to my destiny. I also got elected president of the West End Community Council, and as such I gained citywide exposure, and from there, of course, I ran for office in 1966 and was elected to the Ohio State Legislature.
Mr. Mallory's had an unbelievable career.
Yes.
And what do you hope to do with this fundraising effort?
We hope to honor him, to thank him, let him know how much we appreciate the time, effort, the energy, and spirit he has placed into the lives of not just Cincinnati and the West End community, but the state and the nation. He is a phenomenal man. He is just, it's difficult for me to describe my thoughts and feelings about him. He is, besides my father and God, he is the most impactful person that I have ever been around.
Well, as I was mentioning to you before we got started here, I had the privilege of doing 22 hours of oral history with Mr. Mallory. And all you have to do is sort of ask him a question, and he will take off and tell you.
Sit back and go for the ride.
Yeah. And my understanding is that your goal is to raise funds that can then go to a scholarship for a student at Capital University?
Well, actually at Central State University.
Pardon me, Central State. What am I
his
saying?
alma mater. Our intent is to raise $10,000 to endow a scholarship in the name of William L. Mallory Sr. In political science at his alma mater, Central State University.
And he'll get me for saying Capital. At Central State, because he loves Central State. And he's done a great deal over the years.
No doubt about it.
Let's make sure that people know how to find out about the conference and about your organization. To learn more about this, you can go to the website, which is, and you can see it, it's hard to but it's UMADAO, which...
AOP. Humidop.
Humidop. of Cincinnati.com. There we go. I just don't have that yet. Or call 513-541-7099. And it's got information about the conference as well.
Yes, we do have scholarships available, by the way.
Okay. Michael, thank you for the conference, you mean?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being here this morning. Good luck with the conference and good luck with the scholarship. Thank you for making Newsmakers a part of your Sunday morning. Next week, I'll be joined by the Ohio Secretary of State, John Bessette. Have a good week.